She lost her way, although she stays, she's never yours. She doesn't breathe, she doesn't leave when she's with you. She scratches red and cuts too deep, there's nothing left to do. The world inside she sees it's all in black, trapped and tied apart. The world inside she sees it's always gray, trapped and tied apart. The world inside where light never comes in, trapped and tied apart. Just then again, trying to get closer to you. You always go back to the place of black and
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Come on in. This is the Cassidy The Cardslinger show here on My Psychic Connection, and I am Cassidy The Cardslinger. I'm so excited to be here tonight. I hope everyone's week is going well, and I am here to offer readings for the next hour. So let's see some lovely questions coming in tonight. So how this works, in case you're new here, I'm offering both free and paid readings tonight. If you're interested in getting a reading, what I need you to do is go ahead and type in a specific question into the chat. So what is the specific question? I need a little bit of context. I want to know what it is that you want to know. So don't ask for general readings at this time, because I will not be providing those on the show unless you are a winner of one of our games. But I'll be talking about that a little bit later. So what I will need from you is that specific question. I'm also not talking about anything medical related tonight, so nothing pregnancy related, no death predictions, things like that. Please take your medical questions to the correct professionals. I also will not be speaking on legal matters, so no legal questions, no medical questions tonight. I'm also not a psychic medium, so if you're interested in getting a mediumship reading or a general reading for that matter, you can check out www.mypsychicconnection.com and connect with one of the wonderful readers over there, or check out the other shows that we have Monday through Thursday. Well, I'm Thursdays, but Monday through Wednesday, every night of the week. So definitely check those out. What else is going on? The donation link will be opened up in the chat there as well. So if you're interested in a bit longer reading, we will have that option available to you. There's a quick reading, a mini reading, or a mega reading, and all of the donations are going to jump the line. So if you don't want to wait, if you want to make sure that your question gets answered tonight, that will certainly get you to the top of the list. Any of the donation link. Sorry, any of the donations will get you to the top of the list. So we've got games going on tonight, so the emoji contest will be in full swing. If you are new, how this works is you type in as many emojis as possible throughout the show, and whoever sends the most emojis until we announce the winner will win a reading with me a little later on. So I know that I don't do general readings, but if you are interested in as general as I will get on the show, that is one of the ways that you can win that reading. We've also got a couple of other games tonight, which I'm super excited to jump into as well. Also, I will mention that this month, $1 of every donation is going to the Ryan White program. So definitely check out the work that they do, and we're very proud to be able to partner with them. E. Rose here says, evening all, blessings, love, and light to us all on this full moon. Yes, hey, Cassidy. Hello, hello, come on in. And if you are joining us, do say hi. I love to see who's here. Love to see where everybody is at. It's so nice to connect with our beautiful community. Marty is here saying, hi, Epic Cassidy. Hello, Marty. Lovely to see you. Do say hello. I'd love to see where everybody is from as well. I always ask, send me a note with where you are located. I don't need addresses, folks, but your city, your state, your country. Love to see where everybody is at. And I will also say, do share me out far and wide. We are growing our community rapidly, and we're loving to communicate and connect with as many people as possible. So if you know someone who could use a reading this evening, go ahead and send them this wonderful link, and I will get you as many people as possible. Brandon is here, says, hey, from PA, right on, wonderful. This is so cool. Yes, we are an international community, and we've got people listening from all over the place. Ebro is tuning in from Florida, wonderful. This is awesome. We've got good representation throughout the United States, I do believe, and a number of other countries as well. I will also say, folks, that we are streaming on over 190, I believe it's 196 different platforms. So do be patient as I'm working my way through all of the wonderful questions. We've got Marty here from Texas. Wonderful. And if you are listening to me somewhere where you can't type in a question, if you're listening on the radio, head on over to YouTube, type in My Psychic Connection, and you'll see our lovely logo with the blue tree, and you'll see me. I am the live video right now, and I will take all of your beautiful questions tonight. So, excellent, guys. I'm excited to get started. Let's take a look who we've got on our list. Our first question to get things rolling. We've got the wonderful Squirrel. Squirrel says, "Hi, Cassidy. I'm always happy when I'm studying something. What, if anything, do you see as a fulfilling study for me at this time?" Ooh, great question. Let's switch over to this deck here. So what would be a fulfilling area of study for the wonderful Squirrel at this time? That's a great question. Let's take a look. Okay. Ooh, okay. This is interesting. And I'm going to say two things that almost sound contradictory, but it's because I think it's important for you to start with. First thing I want to say is what you should be studying. The wrong approach at this time, I think, would be to entirely dedicate yourself to one thing. It feels that you would have better success taking a bit more of an eclectic approach. So there are a couple of different things that it seems like you're interested in, and it's almost like there's a hesitation to start any of them because it feels like that means if I spend time doing this thing, I'm not going to get to explore these other areas of study. So the first thing I want to say is to dig a little bit into multiple different things at once. Obviously not exactly at the same time, but you can, one day or 1 week, spend a little bit of time on one topic and on another as well a shortly later time. So definitely consider that. Will be where I want to start. So the next cards I've got Flowering, the Source reversed, and Transformation in reversed, as well as the card of Patience. So part of this is to say to revisit something that you know in a significant level of detail, but that you've wanted to go, it feels like a leveling up, like really sinking your teeth into a particular, and I don't know if this is related to either your astrological studies, but it's certainly something that has a practical application for your understanding of the universe, your understanding of life. I've got, like I said, that transformation card in reverse. It feels very applicable to you, particularly for yourself, as well as for the work that you're wanting to do. The Source card here, Squirrel says, "Been wanting to learn palmistry better." Very cool, because the other card I have Flowering. That is the bell, my dear, but thank you so much for your question. That was a great question. I love a good meaty question. I like to dive into different topics, and that was a really good one. So thank you so much. I hope that was helpful for you. Do come on in, guys. I can see we've got some more folks joining us. Let's see who is all here. Lexi's here, says, "Hey, Cassidy." Hi, Lexi. This is so nice to see. Do come in. Do say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you're interested in getting a reading, type in those specific questions. I'd love to get to as many folks as I can here tonight. So let's take a look at who we have got next on our lovely list this evening. We have Ebro. Ebro says, "What will this full moon offer to me in the next month?" Ooh, interesting. Ebro says, "What will the full moon offer to me in the next month? Love, career, or life?" You pick. Everything is out of whack. I hope this new moon helps me out. All right, let's take a look at what this full moon, and yes, guys, happy full moon. I believe it struck a degree, at least where I'm at, early this morning. So we are right in the thick of that full moon energy. So let's take a look, Ebro, what we can see for you, what this full moon will offer you in the coming months. Okay. Ooh. All right. So this isn't what area is, it's not that a particular area of your life is coming forward, but it feels like we're getting a little bit more to the root of the problem, or it feels like this is tackling a systemic issue within your life that is impacting a number of different areas of your life. The very first card I have down here is Guilt, followed by Trust, as well as the Fool and Consciousness. So with that Guilt and Trust card, it feels like there's some, I know it sounds almost very cliche, but some sort of inner demons or some sort of things that you're struggling with inside yourself that are having, I will say that it's impacting a number of different things, but one is your ability to trust yourself and trust that you know what you want and you're able to go after these things. And also to free yourself from the expectations that either you have placed on yourself or other people have. It feels like there's quite a bit holding you back, holding you down right now, that I see that being the area that is shifting largely for you over the next month. Because with that Fool card there, it feels like a much fresher, lighter, more exploratory energy that is coming forward at the end of this. Ebro says, yes, already on it, with some emojis. Perfect. So in the, what is that children's book? It's like, if you can't go around it, you must go over it. If you can't go over it, go through it. This is one of those things where it's like you need to go through it. The challenges and the difficulties that you're experiencing this month is kind of deepening into what they're trying to bring forward, and then releasing, coming out on the other side of that with a greater sense of trust in yourself, in your abilities for what you can achieve. And it just feels a lot lighter over the next month. The final card there of consciousness is also interesting, because I think it reflects very well. It's quite beautiful going from that guilt card into this consciousness card, where there's like a weight or a heaviness that you may be experiencing lifting significantly over the next month. So that is what I'm seeing for you there, my dear. I hope that was helpful for you. And you said you're already on it, so know that your work is paying off. Just also keep in mind, it might get a little more challenging, or there's a little bit more to deal with on the more difficult side of things before things lighten up and get easier for you. But that's how I see that playing out over the next month. So thank you very much for your wonderful question. Guys, this is so nice. We can see all these lovely questions rolling in. We've got Amanda here from Illinois. Hello, Amanda. This is great. We've got Flora here from Boston. Hello, Flora. Come on in, guys. If you are just joining, introduce yourself. Do say hello and let me know where you are coming from, where you are tuning in from, because it's lovely to see. I see this wonderful little map in front of me. I actually maybe should put up a world map over the top of my computer here. Ebro says, all truths. I am claiming all of this good stuff. It's been a process. Thank you. I understand all of it. Beautiful, my dear. Oh, I'm very glad to hear that. Thank you so much for that wonderful feedback. Marty from Texas. Excellent, excellent. We've got lots of representation across the United States. This is great. All right. Let's take a look here. I'm going to go ahead and switch decks here. But before I take my next question, I wanted to talk about something that actually came up a little bit with that Fool energy from that last reading. So with this full moon, and I am by no means an astrologer, so certainly tune into Squirrel and Energies channel, because they are going to hook you up with all things astrology. Journey's also an astrologer as well. But one of the things that you can think about with this full moon in Sagittarius is your own understanding, the way that you work with exploration. Lexi says, Melbourne, Australia. Wonderful. Check that out. This is awesome. Jean is here. Hello, love. Hi, everyone. Jean says, happy full moon in Sagittarius, everyone. Yes. And I do hope that this moon is being good to everyone. I know, obviously the full moons will hit us all differently depending on what is being aspected or activated in our charts at any given time. But one thing I'm enjoying within myself, and you may consider today using this Sagittarius full moon energy, like I said, is that idea of exploration and expansion within yourself. What are the things that you want to dive into more? And even both of the questions that we've had tonight are kind of fitting with that whole general theme. But if there's anything that you're wanting to really, it almost feels like cross off the bucket list type things, and it doesn't necessarily have to be super things with a high barrier, massive trips or international travel, things like that. But either you're doing an exploration within yourself, doing some sort of expansion of your surroundings, whatever that looks like. I think both of those are good topics or good things to consider with this beautiful full moon today. So, I mean, the full moon energy is absolutely buzzing, and it's been a good day for me. I hope everyone is having a good day so far. All right, let's go ahead and see who we've got next on our lovely list. Folks, we've got a donation for a mini reading. Thank you so much for your donation. It really helps the channel. It helps support our shows, and it puts a big smile on my face. Also, this month, $1 of every donation is going towards the Ryan White program. So thank you so much for your support, and we can pass that support on as well. The great thing, folks, about mini readings is that I am not timed. This takes as long as it takes to get the answer out of this question. So let's take a look. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Marty. Marty says, actually, I have a different question. All right. When I get my GED, could you see me being successful and happy studying and pursuing a career in ethnology/animal behavior with a specialty in small mammals. This is such a great question. And then in brackets, while pursuing other hobbies and passions, of course. See, awesome. I'm loving this pursuit of greatness that we're seeing here from everyone tonight. So let's take a look for Marty. I'm going to read that question one more time. Beautiful, specific question here. When I get my GED, could you see me being successful and happy studying and pursuing a career in ethology/animal behavior with a specialty in small mammals? Okay, let's take a look. This is a great question. We see you being successful and happy. I've actually got a deck here. It's the Northern Animal Tarot, so I think I'm going to go ahead and use that. Marty says, ethology. There we go. Thank you very much. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Let's take a look here, my dear. Do we see that being both successful? Because those are two different questions, right? You could be very successful and not necessarily love what you do, or vice versa. So I'm going to ask those separately. So do we see, first of all, success for you in that field? Oh, do I ever? Okay. And then, I'll spoiler alert in just a moment here. Now let's take a look at the second half. Happiness. I mean, I'm already seeing the happiness bullets coming forward here. Here we are. Okay. Excellent. My dear. All right. And Marty's got the little shocked face. So let's get started. Your level of success. So, and you've already said that you're going to get a degree. This is something that you're going to need to study, and it's not a short road ahead, right? We're not talking about a weekend course or a short thing like that. Marty says, that's a promising giggle. Oh, my dear, just you wait. It gets better. So the first card I have down here is the Knight of Pentacles that has come up in reverse. So this is to reflect, we do have a long road ahead of us here, but something that is worth the investment. It will be worth the investment 100%. With that Knight of Pentacles, the first thing, though, I want to bring forward is in your consideration of going into this program, you may need to either change up your approach to study or education and how you are going to apply yourself to this level of education and this level of study, because that Knight of Pentacles, it feels like there's a significant growth that happens, of course, through the learning aspect and the learning side of things, but it's like a growth within you becoming the student that you want to be able to get through this program. Because with that, it's in reverse. It is a slow, steady progression through your degree program that has certainly its ups and downs. Marty says, oh yeah, I need to fix my studying skills a lot before I try jumping into college. Precisely. But I want to say with that too, don't feel like you would, I know you say you haven't got your GED yet, but don't feel like there needs to be, I need to push that out because I've got to get this together first. It feels like that comes together all at the same time. So it'll be a bit of a learning process. And also the fact that you are still in school working towards your GED, you can use that as like a practice ground, right? Use that as your, okay, pretending that I love the school that I'm doing now. And maybe we don't love what we're having to do in school until you get to pick what you're studying, but almost use this to try out different levels of studying habits and things like that. See what works for you to understand how you learn best. Marty says, yeah, understand how you learn the best before that real money is on the table, right? Because degrees are not cheap. So that's the first thing. There's a level of growth that will happen for you. And that's how I'm seeing it playing out should you choose to do that. That is in the short term of getting through the degree program. Not the easiest road, but also I think you'll really enjoy it. And this is why I'm saying the investment seems worth it. I have got the Nine of Pentacles, my dear, that has come up upright, as well as the outcome of my success cards here, the Eight of Wands that has come up upright. So the success side of things looks fantastic. And it's quite interesting because you actually did talk about small mammals as well. So we have, I know a bird is not a small mammal necessarily by any stretch of the imagination, but we have someone here who is working in an environment that they are completely thriving in. Marty says, I love that the path is there at all, to be honest. I've been worried about getting into a school for a while, or I've been worried about getting into a school for it with a GED. Totally. And that's sort of where we're in that Knight of Pentacles reverse phase right now. We are asking about a projected aspect into the future where this isn't something that happens overnight, but I'm curious to know how this would go for you should you choose to take this path. And I need you to know That success-wise, I do think the money will certainly come for you, which is really nice to see. But on the other side of that, it's like very in your element. So when you're thinking about what it is that you want to do with your life, asking that question of what do I want my life to look like? Like if I wake up and I was in some way dealing with small mammals every day, would that be epic? And it's like, I feel like your answer would be yes. And sort of painting that picture going into this program with the vision that the program is not the goal. You're not going to, get this degree for the sake of the degree. You're getting this great degree as a stepping stone to where you're wanting to go. Marty says, yes. So that's the first thing that I'm seeing there on the success train as well. Like I said, at that 8 of Wands, it feels like I know you said specializing in small mammals, but it's almost like maybe, I don't know, there's additional specialties or additional layers of study that it will seemingly undergo with how I'm seeing this, that when you finish the degree program, it's not necessarily cookie cutter to when you started. It's exactly the program you thought it was going to be. It's either different electives or different sub areas of courses that you would end up taking that allow you to be very highly employable, is what this 8 of Wands is suggesting. So I can see that the money can certainly come from this. I feel like your alignment to this line of work is wonderful as well as the job opportunities at the end. But again, that's because you went into it with what do I like? Why am I getting this degree in the first place? Right? So before, and again, this is this Knight of Pentacles reverse phase we're in right now. We're getting our study habits sorted out. We're getting our grades up so we can get into the college we're looking for. All that kind of thing we're in right now, as well as knowing where you're going before you take those first steps. Marty says, makes sense. My boyfriend's a marine biologist who took classes about birds. I'd be thrilled about animals in general. Fantastic, because it does feel, I know I've said this word already earlier tonight, eclectic in nature, where it feels like there's, even you can see that in that 8 of Wands card, there's like a big chunk of what you're doing is what you are setting up to do, what you're expecting your degree to look like. But there's these other supporting things that you find are enjoyable throughout your degree program as well. And also it feels like, because in your original question, you had said, while pursuing other activities and hobbies on the side as well. And I think in an interesting way, that will end up supporting and bubbling in for why your career will be so successful in this, because it feels very well-rounded and very holistically informed, as opposed to someone who went into school with their blinders on and got their degree and then ended up with this degree where they took all their required courses and then, now I don't know where I want to go from here. So that's sort of the biggest piece of advice that I could give you. Marty says, how cool would that be? Totally. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing there. But again, we're with the short-term advice of getting yourself together so that you can show up as the student you want to be, as well as going in really knowing, and I don't mean you need to have your job mapped out. I'm not putting all of this additional pressure on you, because it's really nice that you've even got your compass oriented to where you want to go at this time, which is wonderful in the first place. So that orientation is a good starting point, but I'm seeing it being very relevant to have some ideas of what that looks like at the other side, because I don't see it being a case, but I wouldn't want you to graduate at the other end being now what do I do with myself? So, okay, your level of happiness. And this is where it's sort of the long game. So I have the Justice card in reverse, and I have the Wheel of Fortune card in reverse. So I do feel, Marty says, always good to have a plan, necessary, entirely necessary. Knowing where you're going and why you're doing what you're doing will really help support your motivation to go through the program and go the long haul. So asking about your level of happiness, I think this industry, this field has a lot to offer. And I feel like the career options both will be financially fruitful for you to do so, as well as, you enjoy the work. But both of these cards are saying school, I think, is going to be a grind. And I don't think it's because you can't do it. I absolutely think you can, because I have the long-term success cards showing that you absolutely can do this. But it's that short-term pain for long-term gain type of deal. But of course you have, it's a degree program. It's a lot of courses. It's a significant investment. So the challenges that I see associated with that is, figuring out the financial aspect of things, how you're going to want to pay for this, and then how you're going to get through it on a very realistic sense of what going into higher education like that really looks like for you on a daily basis. Marty says, makes sense. I've always struggled a little with school. I'd have to not let myself just get discouraged. Exactly. And that's sort of why I'm saying that essential long-term vision is so important, because there will probably be days, weeks where you may wake up and look at your timetable and think, my goodness, what have I gotten into? I'm not, particularly motivated to go to these classes today. But having a deeper why, having that deeper understanding of why it is that there's that really cheesy, if when you're thinking about giving up, remember why you started. It's a great quote and everything, but I think the work that you do to sort of solidify what you're interested in will be very useful to keep you going. So Marty says, got to keep my eyes ahead on the path ahead, and remember that not everything can be instant gratification. Round of applause for everyone who is, everyone who will agree with that and who is practicing that, because in this world of instant gratification, there are things in life that are much better than what that can offer. So, yes, in terms of your happiness, hang on, where did my deck just go? Oh, it's over here, darling. Marty says, lol, LOL, thank you. Totally. So again, your level of happiness. Marty says, best things are often worth waiting for. Yeah, and there's a whole psychology behind, your sense of purpose and how much you invest yourself into things. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not going to go all the way into that. But there is so much understanding surrounding, of course, levels of happiness and their levels of involvement. There is a correlation between, the amount that you enjoy something based on how invested you are in the thing. So my final outcome card for you in terms of how this will fit, will you be happy in this career long-term, is the Queen of Wands. So I like the fact that I have the Eight of Wands in terms of the success side of things. I have the Queen of Wands in terms of the happiness side of things. And like I said, with that Eight of Wands, and it was in your original question as well, about continuing to do certain other things as well, other hobbies and other passions, because it really feels like they end up supporting where you end up in this field. It's not like you just take this degree and other parts of you, other things that are important to you, aren't weaved in to your career life. Also, the other thing I will say, and this is perhaps maybe a little premature, but it does seem like relevant, I will say, in terms of your program. I don't know if there's some sort of work experience type thing where you have work placements in different areas, because it feels with that Wheel of Fortune, that Eight of Wands, there's a travel, moving around type component to it, and it feels quite experimental and quite sampley. Marty says, I know for a fact I'd be displeased with a one-note life of any kind. I'm not giving up my Legos. Exactly. We all need to have the things that we love as well to keep us going. So I'm glad that that's not something that I need to remind you of. So, but yes, just to get back to that point, and whether that comes up prior to going into your degree, if that fits into your projections for when you're trying to figure out what it is that you want to do. But with that Wheel of Fortune, like the Wheel of Fortune and the Eight of Wands, it feels like opportunities to try out different careers throughout your degree. Marty says, ooh, like a field researcher. That feels pretty close. Let's take a look. Yeah. Partly like a field researcher. And I think that because it feels like multiple little positions. So I don't know how long the degree program is, if you've got breaks in between, or if you can do certain work placements and things like that. I've got the High Priestess reversed with that question. So it seems like, yes, the field researcher aspect of things, but it's almost like doing samplings of different types of careers to build your network in the industry. So by the time you graduate, you have an idea of what sort of work really interests you. Marie says, I know a lot of science programs have like volunteering and internships. Totally. Yeah. So I think that would be a very good thing to look into. And again, that's not something that has to wait until the degree gets going and gets starting. You can, be reaching out, send an email, seeing if you can drop by or if any places need an extra set of hands. Marty says, oh yeah, networking is huge in science. It absolutely is. And, a lot of people really enjoy volunteers. I mean, we all need to work and make money, but if there's something you want to try out, there could be some mutually beneficial arrangement, either, like you said, an internship, a volunteer experience, because it feels also rather hands-on as opposed to just, book learning, the scholastic academic side of things throughout your degree. We literally have you, out there and a very hands-on with the animals type thing. So yes, I'm going to pull one more oracle card for you here, my dear. But this is looking very, very good. It's like I said, I can't blow over the fact that it is a long, hard road ahead of you, but one that is certainly worth it. This does not feel like it's a bubbled up, oh, I think this might be fun today. It feels like you're really honoring something that has been important to you for a long time. Marty says, once I can drive, I will definitely keep an eye out for volunteering opportunities at like zoos or something. Yeah, yes, I love that. Okay, let's take a look here. What I have for you on my sacred. This is amazing. Okay, I want to do a second card because this first card is so darn good. Oh, this is wonderful. So my oracle cards here, my dear. Marty says, I've been obsessed with animals my whole life. Yeah, okay. This is you're doing this for all the right reasons. The first card I have, listen to this. It says, begin now. Take your first step. I love that. So I know you've said this is a longer term thing. We're talking about you're getting your GED, and then this would be something you do after. But it's like, what can you do in the shorter term in terms of planning, reaching out? I know you said once you can drive, you're going to take a look at these opportunities, but this is like, Marty says, OMG, exactly. Take your first step. Like this is an open door into this field that, quite literally into the field, but into this field of work for you that I think will be incredibly rewarding. And again, you're about to, traverse through this large garden, but at the end, there's this beautiful winding path into the sunset. How precious. And then the last card I have here, it says voyage of the heart. Love flows through you and to you, which is a beautiful card as well, because it's reflecting that level of you honoring yourself. And because it's tough, that where you just said there, Marty says, that's such a perfect card. Absolutely. So where you said, you've loved animals your whole life, it feels almost like there has been a recent, but some sort of reckoning within yourself where, wow, I can actually take something that I love and pursue that as work. I can put that into motion as a career. I don't have to feel that it's not something I can pursue more deeply or more interesting. So where that voyage of the heart comes in, it's like that is really honoring something that is a very deep part of you that has been, you felt very connected around animals, as you said, for the majority or all of your life. So this is something that would pay off continually because it's so close to who you are. Like it's so ingrained in importance at a very, very deep level. So I love that with the voyage of the heart. And that's the thing that'll keep us going. Marty says, yes, my grandma kept telling me things don't pay well enough every time I mentioned wanting to do something. I finally went, who cares if I'm happy and love doing it? 100%. I mean, you never hear stories about someone who's at the end of their life and thinks, man, I wish I worked more at that job I didn't like. And there is something to be said, and there's a case to be made about we need to be able to support ourselves. We do need to have some way of being financially solvent. I understand that entirely, but this is a field that can offer you, a very decent wage, honestly, from what I'm seeing here. And it just seems like you'll really enjoy it. You'll really be happy here. So that, as cheesy as that sounds, it's hard to put a price on that. If you wake up every morning loving what you do and loving your life, you've won. So that is what I have got for you, my dear Marty. Thank you so very much for your donation, for supporting the show. And that was such a wonderful question. I so enjoyed diving into that. Keep me posted, my dear. I'm very excited to see this progress for you. This is so very wonderful. Marty says, I was pleasantly surprised by the pentacles for sure. Yeah, who would have thought? Marty says, thank you so much, Cassidy. I have a huge smile on my face. Oh, that's so good. Excellent. Thank you so much. I'm picturing it now. I'm so glad that that was helpful. And thank you again for your donation. It really helps support the channel. Okay, guys, we are back with the intuitive card game. So if you are new and you are interested in how this one works, where have my cards gone? What we're going to do for the next couple of minutes, we will set a timer and we will see who can guess the playing card that I drew before the show started. So the playing card deck is a deck of 52 cards. We've got the 4 suits, spades, clubs, hearts, and diamonds. Numbered ace through 10, jack, queen, and king. And when I say go, I would like everyone to start guessing what card it was that I drew before the show started. So we call this the intuitive game because you might intuitively be drawn to a black card, a red card, a high number, a low number, a face card. So try tapping in within yourself to see if you're getting any sort of intuitive hit on what the card might be. And if not, that is not a problem. You can also just type as fast as you like. There is no limit to how many guesses that you may guess. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the emoji contest for just one moment and let's see those guesses. We'll start the timer. So let's see, and do make sure you are guessing both either the number and the suit or the face card and the suit. So if you're, don't say hearts, but in order to win, you have to guess both the number or face card and the suit. So let's see those beautiful guesses coming in. I do hope that we see a winner here tonight because it's always fun to get to give a reading to someone who has won and guessed the right card. So I will also say, guys, if you have not checked it out yet, our YouTube channel is fantastic. There's, of course, the live shows Monday through Thursday, multiple shows, and a bunch of new shows coming up as well. So stay tuned for all of that good stuff. But we also have a ton of shorts and other YouTube videos that come out every single week. So every single day, there is a minimum of 3 to 4 new pieces of content for you. We've got the card of the day. We have the numero tarot series of the day. We've got the angel numbers of the day. We've got the Alice card of the day. Those are all just the shorts, and there's so much good stuff over there. So do make sure you are subscribed over on our YouTube channel so you can stay in touch with all of that good stuff. Oh, I hope okay. I'll give you a quick hint. I have seen close guesses, folks. There's been some very close guesses. I do hope we see it tonight. I love giving what is the closest thing to a general read. Oh, we've got it, Jean. Congratulations, Jean. We have a winner. Jean has guessed it. It was, in fact, the 7 of diamonds. So thank you, everyone, for playing along. That was a good game. My whole side of my screen just was flying by. Marty says, "Woo, go Jen." Go, Jean. Sorry. Jean is continuing to guess, my dear. Excellent. You have won. Congratulations. Thank you, everyone, for playing. So, Jean, you may know how this one works. If you have an area of life that you would like this to pertain to, I am happy to take an area of life. But otherwise, this is, like I said, the only time on the show that I will offer a general type reading where I do not require a specific question or a context. So this is always a lot of fun. Let's take a look at what we have for you, my dear. Congratulations. What is the message that we have for Jean at this time? There we are. All right. Excellent. Okay. All right, Jean, my dear. So the very first card I have down for you, it says Clear Endeavor. And this deck is so very beautiful. I like using it in the springtime. But the first thing that is coming forward is a piece of advice or the right time to get clear within yourself with really where you're going, what you're about to spend your time doing. This is a beautiful card. It has on the bottom here a group of people celebrating. We've got a lovely pair that are skating in the woods, and then we have someone over top who's foreseeing and just enjoying the beautiful scene that is laid out below them. So with that Clear Endeavor card first, it's asking you right now to be more clear. Who would have thought? It's asking you, like, now is a really excellent time for you to get a more clear understanding of what's important to you and where you're going to be spending more of your time. So if you have either started to do this or there has been a desire for you to, it feels like, I want to say this very lovingly, but it seems like you need to get real with yourself in a certain capacity. There's a need to understand in a very clear way what your reality is, what your situation looks like, and what's going to be important to you moving forward. And particularly as well in terms of relationships, the people that are around you, people that are that you're choosing to spend time with. But there's a need here to be, it's almost like to not, Jean says something I need more of. Yeah, with a heart and a laughing face. So the first part of this message, my dear, being, don't fool yourself. Don't sugarcoat things. Don't make something seem better than it is, if it's in fact really needing your attention in a certain way. So with that clear endeavor, it's like now is a time for a clear plan, a concrete way forward. Who is going to be able to help you? What resources do you have available? And getting very clear. I'll say that just one more time. Getting very clear with yourself in this particular regard. The next card I have here is empowerment. And this is a beautiful card as well, because it's in one way, I will say, putting a lot more of the onus on you and having you be the real thing that can cause the change that you are looking for in your life. The sense of empowerment, it works in tandem, or at least in support by that first card where I was saying it's about the relationships and the other people around you. But the empowerment card is pulling you much more back into your own actions. So where I said to not delude yourself or to not sugarcoat something, like if there are things that really need your attention and there are things you can do about them, what are you going to do about them? What are the things you actually can do? How can you take steps and how can you move forward in a way that you are the one creating something for yourself? It's about empowerment. So it's interesting because that first card, like I said, is more oriented towards the relationship and who's going to support you through this, through the coming weeks and months here. And then the second card is like, I don't say it's calling you out, but it's putting you back in center stage, being like, whatever the circumstances are that have caused the problems that you're experiencing, because you can even see on her head, she's turning her head away from what is lightning, thunder and lightning, and this beautiful sun is on the other side of her face. So it feels very like now is really the time. Jean says, I just have me. And that's probably where this empowerment card is pulling more of the focus back to your own ability to change your life. But with this clear endeavor card, it's not showing that it's going to always be just you, that there are other people written into your story that are important, that do care, that maybe because they're not getting center stage right now is one thing, but they are relevant to your success moving forward. We can do a certain amount ourselves, and then at some point we can do more together and more with other people. And the final card that I have here, it says hope and happiness, which is really nice because it's coming out of that card. Like I said, she has this thunderstorm and this raging storm around her head, and this person does not. There is a much bigger sense of fresh air here. Do not give up hope within your situation if you're feeling like things are really bearing down on you and there's just too much that you need to carry. Because with that hope and happiness card, it's a gentle reminder to, to keep going, to continue to pursue whatever happiness looks like for you on the other side of dealing with this challenging and difficult situation. So, but with that hope and happiness, it comes after that empowerment card. So it's very much so, like I said, it can feel like too much what is resting on your shoulders, but with that which rests on your shoulders, you also have the ability to carry and to hold and to change as well within yourself. So that is what I have got for you there, my dear. I hope that was helpful for you. And thank you so much for all of the beautiful guesses. Thank you everyone for the wonderful guesses tonight. This was so much fun. I always love seeing all of the beautiful guesses through the intuitive card game. And it's always nice to have a winner. So thank you again, everyone who played along. All right, this is such a great evening. If you are interested in getting a reading tonight, do come in, say hello, let me know where you're from, and type in that specific question into the chat, and we will get to as many questions as possible. If you want to guarantee yourself a reading tonight, the donation link will be floating around in the chat here as well. So that will jump the line. If you don't want to wait, darlings, that donation link jumps you right to the front of the line. Jean says, Cassidy, thank you for your time and insights, love, with a heart and a kissy face. You are very welcome, my dear. Thank you so much for your lovely guesses. And congratulations again. All right, let's take a look at who we've got next on this lovely list tonight. Folks, we've got another donation for a mini reading. Oh, thank you so very much, Paul. I appreciate. PJ has donated for a mini reading. Thank you so much, my dear. It really helps support the show. It really helps, helps keep things moving back here. It makes me super happy. And $1 of every donation supports the Ryan White program this month. So thank you for sharing the love, so we can share the love back to other wonderful organizations that do great work. So, all right, PJ says, things are feeling kind of overwhelming at the moment. What kind of trajectory do you see in the next month or two? All right, let's take a look here, my dear. Again, mini readings are not timed. I can take as long as I want with this question. So buckle up. Let's see what we've got going on here. Because I do remember, my dear, we've done, I remember the card. Yeah, there was a reading we had done not too long ago, and it was like just warning you about exhaustion and such. So I hope that you are doing okay in that regard. But let's take a look. Oh, you said, to clarify, school and work is breaking my brain. In a month is a true test, and I'm not overly confident. Oh, okay. I imagine that's for school. You said, to clarify, school and work is breaking my brain. In a month is a true test, and I'm not overly confident. All right, my dear. Can I have that first question back up, please, to the wonderful folks in the back? Make sure that I am getting her correctly. So things are feeling overwhelming at the moment. What kind of trajectory do we see in the next month? Plus, we've got that test coming up next month. Okay, my heart goes out to you, my dear. There's 10 times all of the things on the go. But okay, hang on. Let me get, I could take as long as I want. I'm going to get a whole bunch of cards down for you. We're going to take a look at where things are going and take a look at if there's also any guidance that you need that could be useful for you over the next month. So I'm going to ask separately, because work life and school life are both important things, but they are separate entities. So let's take a look here for work, how we see your work progressing over the next couple of months here. So we will start there. How do we see for your work? Oh, hang in there. Hang in there. Hang in there with work. Okay, I'm going to take a look at school. I will go all into this in just a moment, my dear. I do like to get my cards down, and then I can just talk till my little heart's content. So how we see school going the next couple months here. Yeah, they're just, man. Okay. Okay. You're in the thick of it, my dear. We are in the belly of the beast. I probably don't need to tell you that. The first card that actually flipped out, and according to my rules allowed me to read it, was the 5 of Cups that I have here. So, within yourself, you said it in your question that things are feeling overwhelming. There is that sense of it does feel a little bit exhausted in a certain way, of feeling the need, just feeling like too many pressures all at the same time. But at the same time, what I'm picking up as relevant with this card, with the 2 little cups that are upright behind him, is there is an inherent, or there is a stem towards fulfillment in both of the things that you're doing. Your school is great in many ways, and your job is great in many ways as well. But the focus right now is just like, wow, okay, there's too much all at once, and everything is requiring your time. And it's sort of like, in order to keep up with everything else, you need, or at least it's feeling and is coming across right now, is like, okay, I'm needing to sacrifice myself. Like, in order to keep these boats afloat, I am going to be a shell of myself. I am going to, my relationship, other things in my life are not getting the time and attention that I would like, to be able to give that. Even other certain hobbies, things that you're interested in, like, there just seems to be a feeling of disconnection with, how you would like to show up in other areas of your life, because of how demanding both of these things have been on your time as of late. So let's start with work. I've got the 5 of Swords reversed as my first card, and where we're at right now. So this is why I'm saying hang in there, because my next card I have is the Knight of Cups, followed by the Page of Swords. So, and I don't know if you're experiencing some sort of challenging dynamic in the workplace right now, either staff turnover, staff conflict, certain rules, regulations, not regulations, but certain policies, procedures, either feeling not entirely clear, not maybe having the full amount of support from your team or management you're looking for. It just feels like there's additional reasons within the dynamic that exists at your workplace that are, let's just say, not helping. They're not helping at this moment in time. But again, with that, going back to that 5 of Cups card, is like there are certain things that really fit for you well with this job, but at the moment it's just another cause of stress at the moment within your line of work. PJ says the test I'm talking about isn't school. Oh, thank you so much. Rather, 2 of the 3 guys I work with are heading on a company cruise next month, and it will just be me and another from another store. Okay, thank you very much for clarifying. See, I jumped to the wrong conclusion. Gotcha. So, and that is next month. So in right now, and that makes sense as well, where you said these people are heading out. Well, there we go. PJ says, I just started a month and a half ago, so I feel very intimidated. Understandably so. And I want to just say as well, for the record, how you're feeling intimidated is not a reflection of your skill and ability within this line of work. There is objectively a lack of training and support in the workplace that could have been in place better to better prepare you to feel, ready for what is about to come up for you at work. So if that is any consolation at all, just know, like, it's not, I understand why you're intimidated, and it's really not your fault, is what I would like to say to summarize that up. There has been a bit of a dropping of the ball, perhaps on the training that was received and the proper level of support that has been, offered to you in your time working there so far. So I think you're going to do fine. I don't see this being a problem. So you said the test you're talking about isn't school, that it will just be you and another person from another store. Because what I have over the next month, I've got the Knight of Cups, followed by, like I said, the Page of Swords, and the final card there with the work line is the 9 of Cups. So here's kind of how I'm seeing that. I feel like you have, and not because of how you were trained, but it seems so much more of like your own skill and more of what you bring to the table, the type of person that you are, is going to carry you through this. So use this time over the next, up until they leave. If there's any remaining questions that you have, anything you want to iron out, but I really feel like you're prepared for this. Like, I think you're more ready than you perhaps think you are. You said you're feeling rather intimidated, but I'm thinking this is going to be a good opportunity for you to, in many ways, like you said, it's a test to prove yourself. And I think it's going to go well. I feel like you're going to have opportunities for, making some more sales, giving yourself, it's almost like showcasing what you can do without these people, and not that they're holding you back or anything, but it's like you're getting a chance to shine. And I think you're going to freaking shine. Absolutely. That Knight of Cups. How can I help? What can I do? Just killing it. But not necessarily because of anything they have done or the training that they have been able to provide, but it's you. It is your work ethic. It is how you show up to the workplace and how you are carrying yourself that is going to get you through. Like, I really like that. I really like what I see there. And then I have the Page of Swords following up. So it feels like shortly thereafter, there's going to be either a review period, some kind of feedback, performance discussion type thing. And I think that's also going to go very well. I think it feels like you'll level up in a certain way after doing this. I don't feel the need to say, caution, prepare a whole lot for your work. Like, I think you're going to be just fine, honestly. But like I said, if there's anything you can do sort of before they leave, if there's just certain questions, it's almost like ironing out some details. But even if you didn't do anything, you're prepared for this. PJ says the following month, I'll be heading to Denver for more training. Haha, excellent. And during that training, I think will also be either you'll have a chance to speak, you'll be giving pointers and tips. Like, I feel that this experience that you'll be having over the next month, like, I genuinely feel like you're going to rock it. And then I feel like it will, well, that's really nice that you've got that training coming up. And that makes sense as well with that Page of Swords. Fantastic. But it's like it's very useful that training is happening right after this month of time where you're, running a lot more of the show. PJ says, still so much to learn. Certainly. But it doesn't mean you can't do well with what you have now. So I don't want you to feel that this is beyond your capabilities, because who you are and how you work is really going to carry you to excellence within this line of work, should you choose to continue on this path. It looks great. Again, I understand your hesitation and your intimidation there because of the short period of time and the caliber of training that was provided, but you've got this. PJ says, I've been on the floor for a week or so and I'm crushing it, but I still have my insecurities. I would like to just flick on those insecurities. And I get it. I am empathetic towards that way of feeling, any level of imposter syndrome or feeling like, okay, what am I doing here? But you even said it yourself, like, I'm crushing it, but I still have my insecurities. Like, I would just like to just chop the sentence off. And I'm not trying to, obviously disregard how you're feeling about it, but you are crushing it. Like you already are doing so well with what they have provided. It's going to continue on that path, on that trajectory. BJ says, yes, imposter syndrome. Yeah. And you know what? Like, that's the thing that people, high performing and high achieving people often will feel that. BJ says, this was a hard pivot, as you know. Totally. But it's also like a really good pivot in many ways. Like there's just this other side of you that gets to come alive and come alight that has either been, shelved or not been able to explore to a certain level for a long period of time. So I'm not concerned about what we're seeing in the line of work. It looks good. Keep going. Whatever you need to do to amp yourself up in the morning. But I I think the wrong thing for me to say is just, go for it. You're going to feel great. Like this is the way you feel is going to continue, because it feels that you are, in a much more logical way, needing to sort of prove it back to yourself. Like, I need to see myself succeed for a long period of time before my level of confidence can I'm not feeling that level of imposter syndrome or that level of insecurity anymore. It's like there's a period of time where you're going to need to prove it to yourself. I can see it in the cards. Other people can see it. They are going to give you great feedback. You're going to be successful in this. This is all very good stuff. But there's like this mental, this thing within yourself where you're going to need to convince yourself over time that you deserve to be here, belong here, and can do really well. PJ says, that's been happening with school. All right. So the school side of things, because that was within your original question of just feeling quite overwhelmed. I've got the 10 of Wands. PJ says, I finally feel like I might actually not be a dipshit. You're not. Yeah. I mean, you're not. I'm not seeing that, absolutely not. I don't even have the dipstick card that has laid out here. Oh, where is man, I don't have the ridiculous deck out, but boy, that would have been a good moment for this. So with school though, nose to the grindstone, you are keeping things moving. It feels like you're staying on top of all of the many things that you have to do, pulling them late nights, giving it your all, but I feel like the level of enjoyment is still very high. There's maybe certain things aren't the most exciting or the most fun parts of your training and education, but like the sheer volume of work may be weighing in or scrunching in on that sort of enjoyment side of things. But it feels that the artistic and creative side of yourself that comes out in your music is in certain ways complemented very well by the work that you're doing. I've got the star reversed here as well. So I think over the next couple of months, it's almost like tapping into a different zone of yourself, another side of you being brought forward, because it's quite interesting where we've asked the question here of being overwhelmed with just life and the things that you're doing. PJ says, it's definitely an opportunity to see what I'm capable of. 100%. And I feel like as it's like pinch points seem to come together with this. Like school is stressful and a lot, while work is stressful and a lot. And then they both sort of seem to go through a phase of like, okay, this is looking, easier, smoother sailing. It's almost like they ebb and flow to a similar extent as each other. So that's quite cool to see. But the work that you're doing, whether that's the connections that you're having with other people, but how you are showing up to your work, what that is pulling out of you, it's just really neat how I have that sitting in my spread here. I've got the Knight of Pentacles that's sitting over top of the Star reverse, where there's not work. Well, everybody has work me and at home me and creative me, but it's like those two things I think will feed each other in many ways. Like, I don't know if you are writing songs in your head while you are working. It's just almost like the zone you find yourself in at work will be very conducive to your school side of things as well. PJ says, I'm always shocked when I do well at either. Keeps happening and it's hard to attribute to serendipity. It's you. Like, that's you. That's you out there doing it, like killing it. You are, finally feels like the right word, but like you are finally, and in many ways, like it just feels like your moment to shine. That sounded so cheesy, but I mean it very, very genuinely. Like, you are meant to do well in multiple areas at the same time. And I think like it's just very cool how that's showing up in this spread, where they both seem to be really supportive of each other. I think things are going to go very well within your work over the next couple of months. Hang in there. Like I said, ask for any level of help you can before they leave, but I don't see that being a problem while they're gone. And I think school will also be quite interesting as well. With that final card being, I've got the Wheel of Fortune reversed here. So I don't know how to. So this is over the next coming months. We got the 10 of Wands being, this hard level of focus and work that you're in right now with that Star. I feel like a different part of you is coming forward over the next month within your music and how you are showing up to your projects. And that Wheel of Fortune, it feels quite like a refinement phase, a tuning phase, perhaps even like getting your music out there a bit more. It feels a little more audience oriented as well, getting feedback there. It feels a little more collaborative in that 3-ish months time period from now. So your school side seems to be picking up in a positive way, as your work side does as well. So hang in there. Like I said, belly of the beast at the moment. I understand the overwhelm. Do hang in there. Similar levels of advice. Take care of yourself. Sleep. Try and schedule time in your day to do things like downtime and other things that are important to you. I do understand that's not always possible because you are burning the candle at every possible end right now, but it does look like it's going to get better. And I think both of these endeavors are highly worth your time. And PJ says, I'm starting to get to apply my skills. I'm starting to get to apply my skills at school or in school. Excellent. This is wonderful. So yeah, it just feels a lot more you coming forward perhaps than we have seen previously. And not that you haven't been putting you into things. It'll just come out in a very different way. New things coming forward from within you over the next couple months within your music. So I would love some samples. I would love to hear I would love to hear where this is going, because it looks very, very magical. I love what I'm seeing there, my dear. PJ says, thank you, Cassidy. Stellar as usual. Thank you so much, my dear. You are so very welcome. I will just quickly wrap up with one final oracle card for you here, my dear. Let's take a look at what we have got for you. Okay. Wonderful. So we have got this card says view from above. It says get the big picture. So I think that's probably good advice as well here. Having multiple irons in the fire, a lot of things on the go, whatever you need, it might be useful to kind of take a step back to reorient your life a little bit, or to, see how you're living and how you're dividing your time, how things maybe need to look in the future a bit. But don't get so caught up in all of the small details, in the little bits of tension points and challenges as individual things. Do breathe. Remember to breathe. And sometimes it's very useful to just kind of step back and say, okay, what's the big picture of why I am doing this? How do I want to show up here? And just zoom out a little bit. I think that could be useful for you as well. So thank you so much, my dear. Thank you very much for your donation. That was so wonderful. That was such an excellent reading. Wonderful questions that we've got here tonight. This has just been so very much fun. PJ says, definitely time management is not my strong point, but I think I'm figuring it out. Yeah, I mean, and it's an experimental process because and that's something for everyone as well. Just because you have found something that works for you in the past doesn't necessarily mean it will work for you now, because we change. You know, we are different people. We are always growing and evolving, and different things come up in our lives. So, you know, if you found that workout routine that works, or that time management set that works, like, be open to the idea that the structures you have put in place in your life expire. Yeah, just like milk, you know, like a lot of things. So it's always good to sort of reevaluate, are the things that you have in place supporting you, right? We can set up our lives to support our goals and what we're wanting to do, where we're wanting to go. And if you're still living in a structure that doesn't fit who you are anymore, make those changes. Wonderful. All right. This is so fun. I'm having an absolute blast here tonight. Who have we got next on our lovely? Folks, we have got the lightning round. All right. So how this one works, this is a blast. This is always very challenging, but I love it. So over the next 3 minutes, we're going to start a timer, and I will answer as many yes or no questions as possible. That's right, folks. I need a yes or no question. So no whens or hows or whys. I need to be able to answer it either as yes, no, or undetermined. These same rules apply. Do not sneak legal questions in. Do not sneak medical questions in. Those questions will be skipped. And, don't do that. I can't provide that service for you, my dear. So if you are interested in having a reading, if you want a yes or no answer to your question, let's see those lovely questions. And there's no limit to how many you may ask. So if you have 100 yes or no questions you'd like for me to ask, go ahead and type them in. If you want to give me a little bit of context, also very useful, very helpful. So let's take a look. Let's get started. So this is for Jean. Jean says, can I trust Virgo to be faithful to me in a committed relationship? Yes. Should I be looking for a second job? Yes. Jean says, is Virgo hiding any deal breakers from me? No. Jean says, is my ex Leo genuinely working on paying me back? Yes. Lexi says, am I spending enough time with Stephen? Are you spending enough time? Yes. That one is quite cute. Let's keep those questions coming, folks. Let's see these wonderful yes-no questions. Jean says, is Virgo someone that I can trust for the rest of my life? Yes. Allison says, will my roommate move out this year? Oh, undetermined. Allison says, will my vehicle last until the end of this year? Yes. Lexi says, will James go back to America? Oh, undetermined. That's interesting. Stephanie says, is my cat Daisy nearby? Yes. Debbie says, will I get a dietary job that I had an interview for last week? You get that job. Oh, undetermined. Much more to that. Allison says, does my ex-situationship Tim regret how he treated me in the last few years? Does he regret it? Yes. Jean says, does Virgo genuinely love me? Undetermined. Allison says, does my friend Steve have feelings for me? Oh, undetermined. This is so hard. Debbie says, will I ever find my forever home? Yes. Allison says, will my finances improve at all this year? Yes. Jean says, will I find a remote job by the end of this month? Yes. Allison says, will my friend Tim sell his house in the next 2 years? Yes. Stephanie says, did Jason hurt my cat Daisy? No. That is a very, very tricky. That's so tricky. Thank you everyone for your yes or no questions. It's so hard not to be able to say more because there's so much more information to all of those wonderful questions. So I hope that was useful. Thanks everybody. We have got the emoji contest winner, Amanda. Amanda, congratulations, my dear. It was a very close race, but Amanda H, you have won the emoji contest. So congratulations, my dear Amanda. If you are with us still and you have an area of life, Jesus, thank you so much, love. You are so very welcome. Amanda, if you are around and you have an area of life that you would like this to pertain to, do go ahead and let me know. Otherwise, I will go ahead and do a general type reading here for you. We'll see what the cards have to say. But congratulations. Thank you, everyone, for sending all of the lovely emojis tonight. It was so fun to see my whole screen just fly up with all of the beautiful emojis. So let's take a look at what the message here is for Amanda tonight. Ooh, all right. Okay, Amanda, my dear. All right, so quite a few things going on here. But how I would like to start, where I would like to start, I've got card number 3 here. And this card, it shows a woman who is chopping all of these little, devil-looking heads out of this garden. So, as a card of advice or guidance for you right now, and this may even be something you're actively already working on, is getting rid of the crap in your life that is pulling you into the wrong place. Whether this is certain distractions that you have, bad habits that you are needing to get rid of. These are relationships with people who just are really not in your best interest to keep around. I like what this card is seeing here. If you're not doing this yet, then this is something you really should be doing. This is a clearing out phase. This is a weeding the garden phase. There is a need for certain things in your life to go. And it's with this particular card, it's not surprising what it is. It's not, when I am saying this, it's very obvious and obvious is the right word. It's very obvious to you the certain things that need to go. So this is asking you to take an active approach to weed the garden. Some things really need to go. So if you have not started that path yet, certainly do so. So it's sort of not a double-edged sword. That's the wrong way to say it. But 2 facets to this. The first one is that things external to you need to go. The other thing here, card 36. And what this shows, it's a dragon that has all of these heads coming out of its tail, talking back to it. So what this card is showing is either different parts of your personality or different parts of you that are requiring different things from yourself. But it also feels like external judgments from other people that you have internalized and are almost living by certain rules that are not your own. Living by a playbook, hearing things, or certain levels of conditioning that are holding you back from sort of being that full dragon, being able to be yourself, who you want to be, how you can, be a powerful entity in this lifetime, all that good stuff. But with these certain heads, it's like, it doesn't really feel like it's parts of yourself. What it feels more like is different levels of conditioning or things that people have said that are still having you second guess the things that you want if something is actually it's having you second guess a lot of things about your level of being able to trust yourself and what feels authentic and real for you. So both of these things, it's kind of saying there's a need for an external weeding of the garden to get rid of either connections, habits, things that you should not be doing. We need to be getting rid of those things that are outside of yourself, because it's also needing to unroot or get rid of certain recurring patterns within yourself that also need to go. And my last card here I've got is the card 41, and it's a lovely card. It's a big tree growing in the middle with all of these lovely tree lady entities that are growing alongside of it. So what I want to say to you, my dear, is to not forget about different parts of your life that are also important, but maybe are not the main focus. So with this card, we've got this lovely tree in the center here that is growing, and those are the things that take up the majority of your time, what you are spending the majority of your life doing. But with all of these little things, it's often like either the hobbies that we have, certain relationships with, you know, people that are wonderful, good for us, but we maybe just don't reach out to or talk to very often. What this card is asking you to do is to not forget about the supporting roles, the supporting things that you have in your life, whether they are your hobbies or certain smaller tasks that you like to do for yourself, for your own growth and development, or supporting characters in the story of your life, reaching back out to people who maybe you haven't got a chance to communicate much with lately. Because, you know, it's very easy to get caught up in the bigger, more important, more pressing matters that we have in our lives. So that is what I've got from that card for you, my dear. So to sum that up, we've got the guidance to really weed the garden, to get rid of certain things, habits, people, crap, distractions that really, you know what they are, and it's really time to uproot them and get rid of them. Step 2 to that is getting rid of sort of these either conditioning things or these ideas that are not your own. You're needing to question certain things about the way that you think, and particularly the things that don't allow you to trust yourself and trust that you know what you want. And to support that as well, my dear, this card of, you know, giving a little bit more importance to certain supporting things within your life, not just the main picture, but it's important to do a variety of things when you have the time, when you make the time to do so. So that is what I've got for you there, my dear. I hope that was helpful for you, and thank you so much for all of the beautiful emojis tonight. Guys, we've got a little bit over time, but this was such a wonderful show. Thank you, everyone, for all of the wonderful questions and for the beautiful donations tonight. This was so much fun. I am Cassidy the Cardslinger. My show is every Thursday night at 7 o'clock Pacific time, 10 o'clock Eastern time, and I will be back here next week, same time. Do make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel over at My Psychic Connection, and you can head on over to www.mypsychicconnection.com to connect with any of the readers on our channel, plus some additional readers. So have a wonderful night, guys. Enjoy this beautiful full moon energy, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.